promoted store managers in the Walmart universe ready to run off in their first holiday season here for a new store.
Well, congratulations. Are you nervous?
Why? Why are you nervous? Why are you nervous? Have you not been trained for this position? How many of y'all in here did not want this position to happen? So why are you nervous? Huh? But it's a responsibility that you can handle though, right? So don't be nervous about it. You already know, you've been trained, you understand what you need to do. Nobody in here, or no one outside of this room, knows the stores better than you do. So don't be nervous about it. Be excited, be anxious, and just go in there and do what you've been trained to do. Perform. Perform. And you've done it. That's why you've been elevated thus far, right? So don't be nervous. I can tell you right now from personal experience, while I was playing at the University of Florida, I just shared it backstage. I went to the University of Florida and I was promised that I was going to start the very first game of the year against the University of Miami. And it didn't happen. So I was disappointed. So I kept going to the coach and talking to him and said, listen, if you're not going to start me, at least red shirt, let me hang out with my freshman class and I don't want to waste the year. He said, we'll see. So they let me play game number 2 and I had a pretty decent game, but I didn't play enough. I expected to start. Then after that second game, I went to him again and I said, listen, coach, just red shirt. I don't want to waste the year. He said, well, let's see how this week goes. And then we ended up playing the University of Alabama up in Tuscaloosa. First SEC game. Roll Tide. You're absolutely right. Roll Tide. And I tell you, they call up the starting lineup, and my name is in it. So I'm sitting there saying to myself, I've been talking this trash for about 3 weeks. And he's going to ask me to start against Roll Tide. And I'm like, man, I got to put up or shut up. But I knew in my heart I've been trained to do my job and do it to the best of my ability. And this is my opportunity. All I can say is after that day, it was low tide. All I did what I was supposed to do. Rushed for 224 yards and 2 touchdowns. Broke a school freshman record. And I was the starter for the University of Florida as long as I was there for 3 years. So you are equipped to do the job. You just got to be confident in yourself and in the people that you lead. You have to. And you have to trust that you know what to do. Yeah, it's never going to be easy. If it's going to be easy, a lot more people would be in this room outside yourself. You have what it takes. Do it. You've been trained. Do it. Nike do it all the time. Just do it. Make it happen. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. You have what it takes. Just relax. Run your store the way you've been doing it. If you see opportunities to cut corners and make the profitability go up, they would love you for that.
And they're going through a transition right now from oftentimes assistant managers or shift managers to running their own store. You went through a big transition going from the University of Florida to playing for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know if there was anything to help you lead through that transition as you were making that big step into a completely new environment and a new responsibility.
There were things. And again, I can always talk about my body of work. I've always had something to point back to and say, you found yourself in this situation before. Every level there's a new devil. And most of the time that devil is you. It's your own insecurities, your own fears about moving to the next level and whether or not you're good enough, whether or not you can make it actually happen. Well, transitioning from college to the professional level, I mean, I've never seen guys so big, run so fast, and that could beat me to the corner. And granted, it was a challenge, but what I realized was I wasn't real comfortable with the playbook because I was learning. And while I was learning, I couldn't allow my talent to really step up and perform the way I wanted it to because I was too busy thinking. It didn't come natural for me because I was learning a brand new system. The plays were very similar to the University of Florida plays. The terminology was way different. The blocking schemes were very similar, but the terminology itself was different. The defensive schemes were pretty much the same. The terminology was different. So I had to learn a whole new terminology. But once I got it, everything slowed down. And I guess I elevated my mind. I started thinking faster, moving quicker, and making faster decisions. And I became more confident. But I had to look back at my body work and say to myself, I said, self, when you was 10 years old and you had to play with 11 and 12-year-old guys, you did it. And I said, self, when I was a freshman and they put me on the varsity squad at Escambia High School, and I started, I did it. And I said, self, when I was at the University of Florida, they gave me my opportunity to start against the University of Alabama. I did it. I can do it at this level too. This is no different because all these players I'm playing against, I played against them in college, and they couldn't stop me then. So, you have to look at your body work. When you think about what you've done and the training that you've gone through to get to this level, you got it. It's no different. Just a new story, new location, and a lot more responsibility. You are responsible, and the reason why I know you're responsible, because they elevated you to this level. They believe in you. Now it's up to you to believe in yourself.
Yeah, I think it's a great message. The other thing that this team has a lot of responsibility on now, Emmett, is they are really responsible now for leading and motivating a team. Some of them 3, 4, maybe 500 associates in their store. You did a lot of leadership in your time in football. Any advice on just how to lead a team and motivate them through a long and difficult season?
Well, there come points and times where you as the leader have to really truly evaluate. There are times in our professional career where things become kind of like monotonous and you're just going through the motions. That's when you need to shake it up. Because you don't want to see guys, you don't want to see nothing just get stale. You need to get in there and shake it up. I don't care if you have one employee that's responsible for this and another one responsible for that. Switch them up. Cross-train them. Make sure that everyone knows what the next person is doing. That's what I had to learn as a football player. It wasn't just about me running the football. It was about me knowing what my offensive linemen were doing on every run play and every blocking scheme, pass scheme as well. It was me knowing what the tight end had to do in terms of his pass receiving responsibilities. It was also me knowing what Michael Irvin and Alvin Harper had to do in terms of the routes. I needed to know what route they were running just in case they called a play where I had to get out wide and I had to go from left to right. And I was the first number that was called. I needed to know all those things, but most importantly, I needed to know how to protect my quarterback. So leadership comes in various forms. But knowing everything on the football field, they can insert me at certain positions and make it difficult for the defense to key on me. In your case, switch it up a little bit. Make the job, make the employees feel like they're learning something every day. Make them feel like you're treating them special by teaching them how to become better leaders themselves. So you don't have to work all the time. Let them police themselves. You're doing that wrong. That's not how she taught us. You know, let them do that. That's the great part about it, because you're building a team around you to help not only you become successful, but they become successful as well. In turn, the whole organization arrives. It's okay. Cross-training. We do it in our construction business. We have our farm workers sometimes, you know, they actually pull that concrete. We have our rebar guys sometimes become farm workers, and the farm workers sometimes tie the rebar. All of those things. We teaching guys how to drive some of the forklifts and push some of the bulldozers and everything else. Because we want our team to be very versatile. And I think the more versatile they are and the more responsible they are, you give them a little bit more. And I think that'll help everybody.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, in the...
Hopefully I'm not getting anybody in any trouble.
No, I think if we know something, it's about how to be versatile and adaptable in our stores and how to make sure our associates are cross-trained. So that is exactly the path that we go on. It's the most efficient way, and it engages our associates. So you're spot on with the way that we manage our business.
So can I come run the company now?
We are, we're entering the third and the fourth quarter of the holiday season. That's like our Super Bowl. And you're a Super Bowl champion 3 times over. And I think about, you worked hard every week. I watched you as a Gator. I watched you as a Cowboy. And how did you find that extra reserve to get through the Super Bowl and call on that extra tank of energy to make sure that you were successful?
Well, obviously during the off-season we all train, I ain't gonna say all of us, but most of us train hard in the off-season. Most people train all year. But the reality of the fact is when you get to the fourth quarter of the game or the fourth quarter of the year, fatigue set in on everybody because you're at game 13 and you have 3 more games to play, or you're at game 12 and you have 4 more games to play. You happen to be in October, getting ready to lead into November, and Thanksgiving, the biggest selling day around, is coming up, and then you have Christmas to roll into. Well, that's when the cream rises to the top, because you know you're at the finish line, and that's when you find that extra burst of energy that you need. Because you know the finish line, there's a tremendous reward waiting on you, whether it's a bonus, or whether it's an opportunity to say we outsold Target, or we outsold somebody else. Whatever it is, your store, whether it's my store is better than your store, whatever it may be for you, you find something that they go out there that says, we made it. And we not only made it, but we flew through it. And that in itself is enough that should motivate everybody. I'll never forget one year, we're playing, it's like 93, 94, and we had just lost a game to Miami on Thanksgiving Day in the snow game. And Jimmy Johnson came in the locker room after that game. He said, listen, we have about 4 more games to go. If y'all can just, this is a male term, so ladies bear with me. He said, if y'all can just hang by your, for the next 4 weeks, we'll be where we want to be. And that is having home field advantage throughout the playoff, which is a direct path to lead us to the Super Bowl again. And every man looked around at each other and said, you know what? Leon, don't worry about that. This is behind us. We won't lose another game. And we didn't lose another game because we made up our minds. First of all, we made up our mind. We put it in our head that this is what's going to happen. We're going to hang for the next 4 weeks, and then we're going to drive ourselves through the playoff, all the way to the Super Bowl, back-to-back years, and that's what happened. That's what you have to do.
I think we know something about hanging on. This has been a year of challenges, but this is a